Imagine you have exactly 30 days to generate 80,000 rupees. You have no job, you can't rely on a salary, and taking out a loan is off the table. For most people, that scenario is a mathematical impossibility. Between massive layoffs and high inflation, the idea of creating wealth from scratch often feels like a lottery you didn't buy a ticket for. But systemic economic desperation is a historical constant. Look at this scene. It's the 1930s, during the Great Depression, where millions waited in winding lines for bread as the global economy collapsed. Amidst this collapse, F.C. Minaker published a manual titled 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000. He watched crowds of men staring at employment boards and argued that generating money is a mechanical, learnable skill rather than a stroke of luck. We will take Minaker's Depression-era survival guide and translate it into a modern operational pipeline. This is a system designed to build independent income from absolute zero, starting today. Step 1 of this pipeline is systematic observation. Most businesses begin by identifying a specific friction point in a market and engineering a way to remove it. Consider the Indian travel market in 2005. A single customer on one side, bus operators on the other, and a wide, empty gap of friction in between. When Fanindra Sama couldn't secure a bus ticket for Diwali, he built Redbus to bridge that gap, eventually selling the company for 800 crore rupees. This logic scales down locally. You likely have elderly neighbors who struggle with modern apps. Spending 2 hours a week teaching them to use WhatsApp for a small fee uses the exact same mechanics. You are bridging a functional gap. After identifying the friction, you move to step 2, the stress test. Most people fail because they spend months and thousands of rupees building a product before asking if anyone actually wants to buy it. If you want to start a tiffin service, you don't buy a commercial kitchen first. You message 10 neighbors to secure 5 verbal commitments before purchasing a single piece of equipment. Successful operators engineer low-risk environments. They secure demand on paper long before they ever create the supply. This is the standard employment trap. When you trade hours for a salary, your income hits a hard ceiling because you only have 24 hours to sell. Step 3 breaks this limit by stacking parallel timelines. Instead of selling time, you package your skills, like Excel or video editing, as a fractional service. A single accountant on a salary is capped. An accountant advising 5 small businesses on a part-time basis builds multiple revenue streams simultaneously. This leads to step 4, the flywheel. Amateurs often assume a business relationship ends the moment the invoice is paid. Selling to a past client requires exactly 5 times less energy than convincing a brand new stranger to trust you. Retaining a customer is the most efficient path to stable growth. A strategic house painter doesn't just walk away after the job is done. They call the client 6 months later, right after the monsoon, to proactively check for dampness. A closed ecosystem of repeat clients provides the stability needed for growth. Servicing past customers requires minimal effort compared to the high cost of finding new ones. Scaling this pipeline requires a shift from extracting money to injecting value. You have to solve a problem so effectively that the payment becomes a secondary thought for the client. Consider a freelance video editor. An average editor follows instructions. An elite editor suggests specific thumbnail changes and pacing adjustments that actively boost the video's performance. When you proactively offer solutions that make a client's life easier or more profitable, you no longer have to justify your price. The results demand it. Small, high-value operations provide the foundation for larger structures. A home baker who masters a single chocolate cake builds the reputation and cash flow necessary to eventually handle bulk corporate orders. McDonald's followed this exact progression, moving from a single roadside stall to a global operation through consistent execution. Layoffs and global instability are real external pressures. However, they do not remove your personal agency to observe a problem and offer a solution. Minaker's core thesis is that while you cannot control a global collapse, you can control the mechanical steps of your own income. The pipeline is laid out. Success now depends on individual execution.